All right, folks, how you doing? WrestleTrueResults303.com. Check out the website. Links in the description box. Coming at you today with a video on science and God. Can science ever prove God's existence? This is a big question out there. A lot of people wonder, will science ever be able to prove God's existence? So I'm going to start out with, my own view. So let's think of it just as a painter, right? If we see some beautiful painting, we can look at that painting and we can see, or we can at least dissect that painting and kind of get into the emotional state that artist was at that certain time in his life. But that painting by no means is going to prove anything other than that one small chunk of the moment of his life, right? So it might be some sad portrait and we can say, oh man, he went through a breakup or he lost a loved one. And then someone else might look at it and be like, I think this dude was about to kill himself, But it doesn't give us an idea of who he is, what he is, the type of person that he is. So I feel that's the same way with science. Science can never prove God's existence because it can only prove what's going on here and now in life, right? They can form some experiment, look at it, observe it, and say, hey, this is what happened. So now we have data, right? This is what happened. They can look at a tree and say, well, what's the purpose of this tree? Oh, the purpose of this tree is to clean the air. Brings in carbon dioxide, lets out oxygen. Right? It helps us to be able to breathe. It's like the lungs of the earth, they say. But other than that, it doesn't give us any other evidence of God or anything. They can prove some forms of things, but it doesn't show us what God is. Because God's not of this world. He's outside of this universe. God created the universe, so he's not a part of the universe. He just created it. So science can never prove God. But I see a lot of people that they have a misunderstanding or they disrespect the Catholic Church because we do have a view on evolution. And the reason why we have to have a view on evolution is because when you're talking to a scientist or someone who doesn't believe, you can't simply just say, well, I believe in God because I've experienced him. We have a relationship. We all know that's how you experience God. You have to have that relationship with him. And build that relationship by reading the Bible, going to church, praying, things like that. But a scientist, if they're an atheist or these scientists that don't believe in God, they don't study the Bible. They don't go to church. They don't have this view of God as we do. So we have to level the playing field and we have to have our own scientific evidence that can at least refute what they are trying to tell us, right? They're going to say this and this and this says God does not exist. Well, in my opinion, I don't think that science can prove God because God is not of this world, and all science can do is prove of what is of this world. So at least we now need to have scientific data that can say, well, look at this. This right here kind of refutes and shows what you're telling me is wrong. And that doesn't mean that you and I have to sit there and get a degree in, quantum physics or whatever crazy new sciences are out there. We don't have to get degrees in that. We just have to read some form of a book or at least have a reference that we can share with these people. Like, hey, read this book. I think this is very interesting. Look at this. Tell me what you think. You know more of the mathematic aspect of it. Science is mathematics as well. So you know more of it. Here, read this book. Tell me what you think. Right? So we just have to at least have things that we can point them to and say, hey, check this out. References. We can have references to give them. Because we need to level that playing field because they're most likely not going to try to experience a relationship with God. And that's why the Catholic Church has its own views on evolution and things like that, because we need to be able to defend the faith in all directions, right? So here's a book. I'm going to do a few videos on it. Here is the book, The Science of God. I have another book. I think there might be 2 or 3 books by this author, or at least of this concept, Science and God. And it is Gerald L. Schroeder. So it says the Science of God distinguished physicist and biblical scholar Gerald Schroeder. So he's a biblical scholar and a scientist. So he has a view from both sides. So this is a book you can just say, hey, if you have the book, if you don't, tell them, hey, check out that book. Because if you look through this book, it talks about evolution in here. It talks about, the 6 days of creation and evolution and a lot of crazy things. And I'll do a video on evolution and what he discusses as evolution in here. But there you go, folks. So I don't think science will ever be able to prove God, but we must be able to come up with references that we can share with atheists that are more mathematic or science-based to at least give them something to think about. All right, so thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, share the videos, like the videos.